stone. Here we go, our epoxy's all set up. Thank you for clicking on another episode of Knife Month. I know several of you commented that you were excited to see how these turned out after we did that beautiful leather work and glued these up yesterday. I'm excited too. This is the first time working with this material, fusion material. I'm really excited for it. These are going to be beautiful collector's pieces for sure. I was just out here working in the driveway for a few minutes there, rebuilding suspension on the truck. If you guys have been following that series, that content will come out in a little while. We'll see. But we're going to take these into the grinding room right now. Let me show you guys here. I'm going to take these into the grinding room. Actually, first I'm going to trim off some of the bulk. Less dust. I'll trim them down on the bandsaw, and we'll take them in the grinding room, get them into shape. See that chalky finish there now? It's standing up to a 600 grit, which looks really good. And to the untrained eye, or when you don't have in mind what the finished look will look like, this looks like a finished look. Wow, shiny, shimmery. But when you give it a polish here, a buff, then you get to see it come to life. Pull off the tape so we can experience it for the first time in all its splendor. That is with all... Remember, this is a full forge finish on this one. We didn't grind out the bevels. We left that full black finish, which I thought would be a great idea because the handle is so elaborate. In my opinion, for my preference, you need something to balance that out. And that's exactly what is going on here. You can't have all the spiciness. You don't want it to get on the lines of tacky, which when you're doing custom work and you're doing like a lot, you're doing a real elaborate build, you have to fight. Sometimes, depending on the features, you have to fight to not let in any tackiness, to keep everything really rich still. Well, sir, the baby was crossed last night, so the wife didn't get to him. So now I'm crossed today. I gotta stitch these myself, so let me see if after 6 or 8 months if I can figure this out. And I'll show you guys, we'll take the opportunity to show you guys a basic leatherworking stitch that you can use for pretty much any leatherworking project you're going to get into. So here's what you got here. I got a piece of line. You can see probably, well, that's in half, and that's maybe 4.5 to 5 times the length of the sheath here. By the way, if you've forgotten how beautiful that sheath is. So we have that length of stitching with just a single knot tied. Each end needs a needle. Now you can pick which end you want to start with. We're going to start right back here and work towards the toe of this sheath. So you put through needle on each side, equal length. Now you're going to go through the next hole. Do you see what I've done here? So the piece that was on that side, we're going to go back through the next hole. So now we have a loop and both strands. Now the strand that hasn't gone anywhere yet, this back one, is going to go through that same hole we just threaded through. Now watch you don't thread through your stitching. You don't pierce your stitching. A lot of needles come sharp. You don't want sharp needles. Notice, I don't know if you can tell, but this is a very dull needle. If I get needles that come and they are sharp on the tip, I round them off because you want them to bullnose through the hole. You don't want them to pierce your own thread. So now when we pull that stitch through and draw them tight, we should have equal amounts again. You should maintain this all the way up. So all you're going to do here right now, see that? Boop. Draw that tight, and that is your first loop, your first stitch. The same thing. Go through with the next one, and then we're going to come back through with the one that hasn't gone anywhere yet, through that same hole. And you see I just pierced that through there without worrying about piercing my stitch. Have a look at that. So happy with my choice to go with the full black forged finish blade. It takes some skill to get that finish on the blade, even though it might seem like accidental or just something that's left alone. It's actually taken quite some time to achieve that exact finish. And it takes some skill to repeat. You've really got to be careful and do everything just right. But when you do it just right, man, I just love that finish. And then into its forever home right there. There's the leather work, the oil now, our finish treatment we put on there is all dried up. Really, really proud of this build. Let's check out the other one here. So in a little different lighting, just so you get the full grasp of what we have here.